Ethan Carter had always loved collecting old photographs. Every weekend, he visited antique shops, flea markets, and estate sales looking for forgotten memories trapped on faded pieces of paper. Most of the photographs he found were ordinary: family portraits, weddings, birthday parties, and landscapes taken decades ago. One rainy Saturday afternoon, he discovered something unusual. At the back of a small antique store stood a dusty wooden box filled with old photographs. Most were damaged by age, but one picture immediately caught his attention. It showed a man standing outside a suburban house. The man looked familiar. Too familiar. Ethan froze. The person in the photograph was him. Same face. Same haircut. Same jacket. Everything matched perfectly. Confused, Ethan turned the photograph over. A handwritten date appeared on the back. June 18th. Tomorrow. His heart skipped a beat. The photograph was impossible. It clearly showed him, yet it was dated one day in the future. Assuming it was some strange prank, Ethan purchased the photograph and returned home. That evening he examined every detail. The house in the picture was his own. The tree beside the driveway matched perfectly. Even the cloudy sky looked familiar. The more he studied it, the more uncomfortable he became. At midnight, he finally placed the photo inside a drawer and went to sleep. The next morning, Ethan tried to forget about it. Yet throughout the day, he couldn't stop thinking about the photograph. Around sunset, he stepped outside to take out the trash. Halfway down the driveway, he suddenly stopped. A cold chill ran through his body. Without realizing it, he was standing in the exact position shown in the photograph. The same clothes, the same weather, the same clouds overhead. Everything was identical. Panicking, Ethan rushed back inside. He opened the drawer and compared the image with reality. The photograph had predicted the future perfectly. His hands trembled. Then he noticed something he had missed before. A dark figure stood in the background, far behind him, watching. The figure had not been there yesterday. Or had it? For the first time, Ethan zoomed in using his phone camera. The shadow appeared human. Tall. Motionless. Its face hidden beneath darkness. Then his phone screen flickered. For a split second, the figure seemed closer than before. And when Ethan looked up from the screen, he could have sworn he saw someone standing across the street, watching his house. That night, Ethan couldn't sleep. The image of the shadow refused to leave his mind. At 3:13 a.m., he looked through the front window. The street was empty. No cars. No pedestrians. No mysterious figure. Feeling foolish, he returned to bed. The next morning, something strange happened. A package appeared on his doorstep. There was no delivery label. No sender. No note. Inside sat an old camera. Its design looked decades old. The metal body was scratched and worn by age. Attached to it was a single message: "Take only one photograph." Ethan immediately thought of the mysterious picture. Could the camera be connected? Against his better judgment, he stepped outside. The street remained quiet. After a moment of hesitation, he pointed the camera toward the road and pressed the shutter. Click. The camera instantly printed a photograph. His stomach tightened. The image showed his street. But it wasn't taken in the present. It showed tomorrow. A police car stood outside his house. Yellow warning tape surrounded the property, and several officers were gathered near the front door. Ethan stared in disbelief. This couldn't be real. Yet the first photograph had also seemed impossible. The entire day passed in fear. He locked every door, closed every window, refused to leave the house. As night approached, he kept checking the street. Nothing happened. Then at exactly 11:47 p.m., someone knocked on the front door. 3 slow knocks. Ethan remained frozen. The knocking came again. Slow. Deliberate. He looked through the peephole. Nobody stood outside. Yet as he stepped back, another photograph suddenly slid beneath the door. A photograph that had not been there moments earlier. With shaking hands, Ethan picked it up. The image showed his living room, taken from inside the house. And in the corner of the photograph stood the same dark figure, closer than ever, watching him. The figure continued appearing in every photograph. Each new image showed it moving closer. Closer to Ethan. Closer to the camera. Closer to reality. Days passed. Fear consumed him. Then one final package arrived. Inside was another note. Only 5 words were written on it. The last photograph ends everything. Beneath the note rested a single piece of film. One exposure remained. One final picture. Ethan knew he should destroy it. Instead, he loaded the film into the camera. For several minutes he stared at it. Then he made his decision. He pointed the camera toward a mirror and pressed the shutter. Click. The photograph slowly developed. As the image appeared, Ethan felt his blood run cold. The picture showed him standing in front of the mirror. But there was something else. The shadow figure stood directly behind him. Its face was finally visible. Ethan gasped. The figure wasn't a stranger. It was him. An older version of himself. Pale, exhausted, terrified. Across the bottom of the photograph appeared a handwritten message. You were never being followed. You were being warned. Suddenly, every photograph Ethan had collected fell from their shelves. Images scattered across the floor. Thousands of forgotten faces stared back at him. Then he noticed something impossible. The same shadow figure appeared in many of them. Photographs taken decades apart. Different cities. Different people. The figure had always been there, watching from the background. Waiting. The camera wasn't predicting the future. It was revealing moments where reality became thin. Moments where something crossed from one timeline into another. And Ethan had become connected to it. The lights in his house flickered. The camera clicked by itself one final time. A photograph slowly emerged. Ethan hesitated before looking at it. When he finally did, he found only an empty room. No shadow. No warning. Nothing. The figure was gone. The connection had ended. Or so he hoped. Years later, the mysterious camera was discovered in another antique store hundreds of miles away, waiting for its next owner. Beside it rested a photograph. A photograph dated tomorrow.